We're talking about President Biden. He's set to address executives gathered at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC, CEO summit this morning. Now, that's one day after a key meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Now, the 4-hour meeting between the leaders signaled little progress on key national security and economic issues, but it did deliver at least 2 significant agreements. Here with his take on the meeting, Yahoo Finance senior columnist Rick Newman. Rick, we knew expectations were low going in, so what do we know at this point?
I think it met low expectations. You could even say it may have exceeded low expectations by a little bit. And honestly, for people who are unnerved because they think bombs are just going off all over the world, well, here's something that actually seems to be maybe settling down even just by a little bit. So the 2 points of agreement were the United States and China are going to reestablish regular military communications. That's good news. Those got suspended. China stopped that basically after Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan in 2022. So the Pentagon and the Chinese military will be talking to each other a little more frequently. And then there was agreement to cooperate rather in some ways on environmental issues and on green energy and addressing climate change. So that leaves a lot unaddressed. And I'm not sure we're going to see any what you might call backsliding in terms of, for example, the sanctions that the United States has put on shipment of high technology U.S. goods to China. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. I think that is going to stay put. I think China is going to remain militarily aggressive in the South China Sea, where it stakes a lot of territorial claims. But we heard the leaders of each nation saying, we recognize the fact that we do need to communicate with each other, and we intend to do that in the future. So a modest step forward.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that that is considered a step forward probably tells you where this relationship has been. One of the other, quote, deliverables, Rick, is this promise that China has made to help flow, or at least stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the U.S. This is a promise that China made under the Trump administration as well. What's different this time? Possibly
nothing. I mean, you have to kind of ask yourself, how much can China stop the flow of fentanyl into the United States? It's not as if this is a sanctioned export. I mean, this is all black market smuggling, basically. A lot of this doesn't even come directly into the United States. It comes in through other places. So it goes to Latin America, and then it might be coming in through Mexico or the southeast border, or who knows. I mean, this stuff, this poison, gets into the United States many different ways. But again, you know, President Biden and President Xi are looking for things they can at least agree on in principle, and that is one of them. Just another important thing I would point out, Akiko, one of the things that really didn't come up publicly but is a major U.S. concern is Chinese support for Russia in the war against Ukraine. Let's not forget about that. It's still ongoing. China has not, as far as we know, been giving Russia large amounts of ammunition or military aid, but they have been helping in other ways. They've been buying a lot of Russian energy, probably helping with purchases of other Russian goods. And my guess is behind the scenes, there's a lot of conversation about that with the Chinese.
Yeah, not just about Russia, but also about China's communication with Iran, no doubt, as well. Rick Newman, thanks so much for breaking that down for us today.
Bye, guys.